Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying on. I know that a lot of people are packing up and going at this stage, so thank you for staying. As was mentioned there, I'm Alan Chapman, not Tom Moloney, who was the speaker mentioned earlier on the schedule earlier on. Tom has had to was called away, so unfortunately couldn't speak to you. Now, Construction Information Services. First of all, I'll just let you know who we are. For those of you who haven't come across us before, we are a provider of construction information. We take all projects from early planning stage and we research it right the way through until all contracts have been awarded and that the project starts on site. We were established in 1972, so we've been around a long time. I've been working with the company since 1977 and referred to as the dinosaur within the office. We cover all refurbs, fit-outs and pre-planning projects on our system. We directly contact the design team to get updates on the projects, and it's all online, the system is all online, everything, real-time information, it's all updated online. We cover all Ireland public and private sector tenders. We're the only company that actually does that. We notify our subscribers that the contract has been awarded before the commencement is actually lodged. So it's really advanced information. And 100% of our confirmation of on-site commencements before the updated project. Now, okay, this will just give you an idea here of the manufacturing supply chain. We produce a report at the end of each year that looks at what's coming in the coming year across all sectors of the industry, what projects are in a planning stage and what right through what's going to be actually constructed and completed in the coming year. And it gives a very interesting oversight here that coming into this year, and this has actually been added to, obviously, this was dated middle of December when we produced the report, but obviously it's been added to. There were 633 key and major projects that are going to take place in 2016 to a value of 15.5 billion. I just put this in context. 2 years ago, in 2014, it was 6.8 billion we came into the year with, and last year was 11 billion. So we can see how I'm on the phone every day to people all around the country and they say, yeah, that sounds great, but it's all in the Leinster area or the Greater Dublin area. What about us people over here in the West or whatever? And that's true to a certain extent, but you can see by the planning applications coming through that the things are beginning to take off there. And it's a real case of a rising tide lifts all ships, and it's coming right the way through. So you can see there the main areas: industrial, commercial, retail, hospitality is really forging ahead. Residential, unfortunately, has been held back at the moment due to profit margins that are available at the moment, and there's a real standoff in that area, and hopefully it needs to loosen up and we need to see activity there. So I'll just go through some of these with you as to what stage these are at, and you can see here that there's an enormous amount of opportunities for manufacturing industry here in Ireland in relation to the construction industry. 38% of all construction work is the cost is manufacturing. Okay, so at this moment in time we have 5 at pre-planning, 121 plans submitted. But you can see there that the main bulk of the activities around is out to tender or plans granted. So we really are at the beginning of activity. So there's a huge amount of opportunities for people to identify and go after. And then a contract awarding on site. You can see there the levels there. So really what that slide actually shows is that for companies that are interested in selling their goods into the construction industry, there are enormous amount of opportunities. That's where the whole activity is at. Okay, and that there really re-emphasises what I spoke about earlier, that the major part of the activity is in the Leinster area, 310 projects out of the 633 projects. And there you see it there, that 30 to 38% is of the total of the construction projects is in the manufacturing area. Okay. Now, just to give you some ideas of the changing face of Ireland and what's happening at the moment, and there's a lot of anecdotal evidence about what's happening, and you'll hear more and more about it as the election goes on, as to what's happening in the medical sector and what isn't happening and so on.
Thank you very much.
This will give you a good overview. Primary care centres. At the moment now in primary care centres, there are 14 primary care centres worth 115 million. Now these primary care centres are all over the country. You can see on the slide here, we're talking about Tipperary, Mayo and Dublin, two in Dublin. Primary care centres, this is a sort of a new development, if you like, and all 14 of these started or are to start in April 2016 and be completed by August 2017. So for the next 18 months, there's a lot of activity there in that area. So anybody who's supplying anything into the actual building of the building or anything into the building after it's built, such as medical equipment and so on, there's many opportunities there. Okay, then we move on to the medical sector itself, the hospital side of things. And again, there is a big investment in, and we'll talk about the National Rehabilitation Centre in Dún Laoghaire. And then the one we've been living with for the last, God knows how many years, the National Children's Hospital, 650 million, finally looks to be moving. And that's one to watch out for, lots of opportunities there. The mental health facility in Portrane, and then in the north of Ireland we've got the radiology unit in the Galvin Hospital. So just quickly going through it, there's a whole new area now in the area of the courts. There's a courts bundle, and there's quite a number of courthouses being built all around the country, and these are all going to there are 7 courthouses worth 135 million, and these are all going to be very short term. They're to be completed by, they started in January, on the 18th of January, just a week or so ago, and they've all to be completed within 18 months. Okay, so again, a lot of investment in that whole area. So, then the special focus, there's a lot of special focus. One of the things that we're noticing on our database is the size of the actual projects that are coming through at the moment, and especially in the Dublin area, you can see a number of these. Let's go through to that. Now, we've just done a report on the Docklands Development Scheme, and the Docklands Development Scheme is huge. There's 17 skyscrapers going to be built over the next couple of years, which will totally transform not only that area of the city, but also the skyline of the city. And here we have the 110 million capital dock development. We've got the Boland's Quay development, 150 million, 28 million Sheriff Street residential development, 111 million in the Project Wave development, and then the Central Bank headquarters, and then one that hasn't actually started yet, CIE are still to come out and look for tenders, is the Tara Street rejuvenation. So all of that area is going to be absolutely transformed, and the opportunities there for companies supplying anything that they manufacture into the building of the buildings, into the offices when they're built, and the apartments and so on. There's massive opportunities. Then just quickly go through before we finish, the commercial sector. Dún Laoghaire, finally they're going to do something with Dún Laoghaire and Dún Laoghaire Shopping Centre, and you will see a lot of developments taking place throughout Dún Laoghaire to rejuvenate that area. Project Cherry, which is the biggest development in the history of the state, 5,000 houses and everything that goes with that, schools, commercial area, retail, etc., etc. So again, already they've started on the infrastructure there and developing the infrastructure to cater for that. And so if the M50 is crowded at the moment, it will certainly be crowded at the time that's completed. Okay, we've got the Harcourt office development. Again, 27.4 million. The 29 million office development in Sandyford. That's on the old flood office equipment building. You may remember, just opposite the Lewis. The office redevelopment in Dublin, that's the old passport office. It's going to be redeveloped. And the office, another office development there in Dublin. So there is again, you know yourselves from driving around, there's a huge amount of construction activity throughout the Dublin area. And then on the residential, again, as I said to you, residential is slow to catch up. We do have a number of major projects out in Glasnevin, the harbour redevelopment in Greystones, and the residential out in Hollystown. So again, there is a lot of activity there, but the whole area of the residential needs to be tackled at some stage at government level, and hopefully now that will start to happen. Lots of promises are being made over the next couple of weeks or months. And then you come into the final area, which is the whole area of manufacturing and industrial. And again, there's a lot of activity here. You might see, and again, in the commercial side of things, you saw a Facebook announcement yesterday, which isn't here. That planning commission has been granted for that. And then you look at the combi lift development, with a massive development, €40 million development, lift manufacturers in Monaghan. And then in the warehousing side of things, a major development in County Meath or Prime Line. Okay. So just to finish off, construction information. Construction information services. We can provide you with advanced information on any of these projects. So from early planning stage right the way through till all contracts have been awarded. So whatever stage you're looking for to go to look at a particular project, we have the information and we update the information and we keep you informed through our online system. So if there's any questions, please let me know. Thank you for listening.